Nishami aliasa, tiamaliata yamalia shonoa, aliata I inamalea tagari osho namiala kese. Mi isava shinomeala ila kodami anamala koteve shokua. Imoraliana, tiva goriana neatovaka ileasa, seta deashanato, emala keshanosete, ila hala koniasha. Mihale niamalianu ko utorea shanosete, ana ata ala koporeo sumono vakashonoso, tiavaka ananiana tu koyashate. Miyashate. Good day, good light, good love, illuminators and wayshowers. Thank you for joining me once again. If you're new to my channel, my name is Wendy. Thank you for joining us with Languages of Lights. I'm Wendy, this is Dave, and we are here to share today, once again. It's been a little while since I've done a cup of inspiration. So today is our cup of inspiration and cup of wisdom. So if you're new to my channel, it's been a little while. I'm now relocated to Fort Lauderdale, Florida area, and this is the first time I've ever done a cup of inspiration video, not only from this location, but with, with my new love and my new life. And so I wanted to thank all of you for joining me. And if you've been with me for a little while, thanks again for returning and joining us once again for our cup of inspiration. And so I had a few things I wanted to share with all of you today. So I thank you once again for being with me. And I wanted to once again thank all of you once again for joining me in my journey, for checking out my languagesoflights.com website. I've got lots of information about my journey there and my services. And also here on my channel, I've got over 1,000 videos for all of you to join and share. And I hope that you find inspiration, not just today, but in all these videos. And to remember that sometimes when we see something that calls out to us, even if it seems like it's maybe a year or two old, perhaps that message is for you today and it's for now. And one of the things I love sharing in these inspirational messages are through these oracles. And so these oracle readings and light language activation transmissions, along with symbols and sacred circuitry, along with crystals, all of these things I love to share and as I'm guided. And today, out of inspiration, I actually had a visit with from our animal collectives, and I often share information about our animal collectives and the information that they bring to us. And as often as we experience these connections with our animal collectives, as you can see, we have our peacocks on, our feathers. I've got my feathers on. I feel that this time is more than ever, we need to remember why we're here, that we're here to show our true colors, that we're here to be ourselves, that we're here to fly and be free, and also to give this time a special message that I received from the Rabbit Collective, as strange as that may sound, with all of you. And I wanted to also share with you, as I was looking down, that some of the things that I share are the sacred circuitry from Sirius. And though we are finding out that these are not really new symbols, but also old symbols, and some of them that many of us are sharing and writing are symbols that have been around maybe for millennia, and we're finding them everywhere. And one of the things that I was guided to do and asked Dave to do, as he does speak and read and write Hebrew, is the sacred circuits that were brought to us by Bashar, 1 through 15. I typically, if you've been with me for a little while, I usually add up the date, and today's date being the 26th of March of 2020, is today's date equals 15, and the sacred symbol for that is manifest. And what I had asked Dave to do, I was inspired one day for a lot of reasons, which I will share in other videos. And if you catch our show on Fridays, Goddess Fridays, please do join us. Oh, it's tomorrow. So if you're, whenever you're viewing this on the 27th of March, please do join us. And we do have a couple previous ones if you'd like to catch up, and an intro video. And so I wanted to share with you all of these things with you as well. So I wanted to invite you to these Fridays as well, where we really get more into this stuff too. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you was the Sacred Circuit from Sirius for 15, today's date equaling 15, and it's manifest. And one of the things that I was inspired to by the Rabbit Collective today was reminded about what are we manifesting and how fast are we manifesting it, and how bunnies do manifest quickly. And we equate that idea of reproduction, of repeating itself in a very fast manner. And they were explaining a little bit about how we are manifesting this idea of this collective restructuring, how do we come together in a way we haven't before, how by separation, this idea of separation, how are we really coming together in a way we haven't before because of what's happening right now. And what I asked Dave to do was to take the number along with the symbol and add the Hebrew number, and along with also the, would you call it the translation?
Yeah,
the translation, the Hebrew translation or word for manifest. So I wanted to share this with all of you today because I felt that there was a vibration and an energy behind the combination of these symbols and of the words and the translation, and that it somehow magnifies and maybe faster manifests. Accelerate, thank you. See, good word, accelerate, thank you. Accelerating this idea of manifestation. So I felt like the power behind all of this and the vibration, the repetitive vibration of the number, and also the word, and that idea of repetitive and the bunny rabbits, that we perpetuate everything that we put our energy into. And the faster and more we put our energy into it, the faster we perpetuate it. And I was also reminded with the same idea that we are also perpetuating light. This idea of coming together in a new way, restructuring the way we live, and loving in a new way, even touching, communicating in a new way. And I wanted to share with all of you the animal spirit from the Wild Unknown. And this is actually from the dragon card on the front, so the dragon's eye, and from Kim Kranz. I absolutely love this deck. Thank you. I love this deck. I resonated with it very highly. It's also separated also by the elements, and the elemental energy right now, the Gaia energy, all of this right now with that whole idea of the Rabbit Collective. And also, what does the rabbit mean from a spirit totem perspective? What does that idea, I forgot my tablet. I was looking up the spirit animal, the spirit totem, and perhaps the reason I don't have it in front of me is because maybe I'm not supposed to read it out to all of you. Maybe you're supposed to explore it yourselves. And one of the things that we're kind of being forced to do right now, being home, is how can we collectively start looking at things from a different perspective? How can we start seeing things from around us and taking this inspiration and creating wisdom from it? How can we take the time that we're home and communicating in a new way? How can we discover the wisdom behind this? And how can we, instead of repeating what we do not prefer, begin to see that we can also have to repeat the energy we do prefer? And that was the biggest part of the message with them today, was this repetitive idea of repeat. We have the power to repeat what we choose to repeat, and manifest that which we repeat by way of energy. And so I wanted to read to you in this book, the Animal Spirit Guidebook. I just wanted to show you the page really quick and the card with it. And the rabbit energy is afraid of everything, overwhelmed and frozen. And I have not read this yet, so I'm reading this for the first time with all of you. And I have not, I think this is the first time I've actually done, yes, this is the first time I believe I've done a public reading as well, using these cards, I think, other than maybe some of our hangouts. So, afraid of everything, overwhelmed and frozen. And I believe that that's what we're all kind of experiencing right now. We're afraid of everything, we're overwhelmed, and literally frozen. I was even commenting on how when we were even out and about, the few people that are out and about, it's as if everyone is frozen. They're overwhelmed, they're confused, they're afraid of everything, everyone. They're afraid to move, to touch, to be close to anything, we're literally right now afraid of everything, and we're being given the ultimate choice right now. How do we want, what do we want to proliferate? What do we want? What do we want to accelerate? And the rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and we're all very afraid about the future right now. And we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words, O rabbit, they shape your destiny. When in balance, we are sensitive, problem solver, and a good listener. When out of balance, over-explains, talks too fast. To bring into balance, a day of silence. And how many of us now, and how many people are posting about it going within? If you can't go outside, it's time to go within. And what better message from our Rabbit Collective today, a day of silence. And we think of a day of silence in so many ways. We think of it as meditation, prayer. In this day of 15 of Manifest, can we use this day, even a moment of silence, all of us, whenever you're inspired to do so, to really ask for the wisdom that this experience of being overwhelmed and afraid of everything and frozen, we have to remember that we're so powerful, we can have the experience of anything and of being completely disconnected. But yet we can also have the experience of not that, of what we do want and do prefer. And that is the biggest message I got today, is we can proliferate the fear, or we can magnify the love. We can magnify what we do want. We can restructure our entire systems. And that is where I got the inspiration for the Eagle card. And so I then turned to the Eagle card, which, if you guys have been with me for a little while, you know the Eagle is one of my dearest and oldest spirit guides. I've had the privilege to be with them and photograph them and videotape them and actually record them for all of you, the sounds and the sights of them and the families of them. And we know that there's families here. I know they are. And I've heard them, and I know they're nearby, and we know that for sure. And actually they're in all 50 states now, so we know that. And so there, if you look at that, look at the sunburst and the eagle energy of, again, now we've got the earth energy of the rabbit, of the close to Gaia, the down to earthness, and yet we were being asked right now to see everything from such a higher perspective, to see everything from, once again, the eagle perspective, yet bringing that eagle perspective down here, and to remind ourselves that we have the ability to see every perspective, even from the perspective of the ant or the grain of sand, or even beneath the surface of the earth, and we can also see it from the eagle perspective, the highest perspective. And again, the wings, the idea of feathers. I talk about this a lot, about feathers, and I one day hope to be blessed with an eagle feather. And so, but I see this new sunburst, and I'm reminded again too, it's spring, the equinox. Spring is, I was reminded again this morning too, springtime here in the Northern Hemisphere represents bunnies. Bunnies represent spring. That's part of, and Easter. We talked about that idea. And for those who celebrate that idea, the idea was in time as we count time, that I was hearing once again, as I had before, that something was going to happen that was going to be a catalyst for great change between the last autumn equinox and the spring equinox, which, as we see, that has come to pass. And so now I'm seeing, and I was being shown today, that by that time that we would call the Easter time, that time which was April 15th, I believe it was, that this will pass. This would begin to pass. That the wisdom that we're gaining from this experience would begin to reveal itself. And look at the ripple effect that this has had, and how many people are forced to be home and to see and be with their families in ways, and their children, that they've never had to before. Maybe many parents have never had to homeschool their kids before. Everything is changing. As far as we know, we really don't watch the news, and so unless we purposely go see what's going on, we're seeing that more and more things are closing. And if all of these what do I want to call it, facilities, if you will, that we took solace in, that we put all of our faith in, if we understand that we are that structure, we are them, we are the ones that see this from the ego perspective, that nothing is beyond our control. We are in control of all of this. This is what this is revealing. Nobody can fix this for us. We are here to do this. And no matter where we think that we are the gods and goddesses that are here to do this job. You are them. You are the teachers of the teachers, the wisdom, the way showers, the ones who will show everyone else the wisdom of this experience and the ripple effects of how we can change the collective consciousness into the vibration of of a different perspective, and really feeling the energy behind that. And I have always felt deeply connected to the eagle, and even here in America, of course, we use the eagle as our symbol of that idea of higher wisdom, seeing things from a higher perspective. Of the eagle is the top of the animal kingdom. They really are. And to remind us, we are the kings and queens of our experience. We are the creators. We have been understood that we are not creators. We are always creating moment by moment. And this experience right now is here to show us that in a bigger and higher way than we ever have before. And the eagle energy is also the air. So this isn't the air perspective. All pervading power, truth seeker. And isn't that what we're all looking for? We're all seeking this greater truth globally. We're all seeking this greater truth, and which also transforms karma. And if we understand karma from that idea of repeated realities, if we think of it that way, us continuing to repeat ourselves over and over, reincarnation, if that's what we want to label that as. But as we know, we're multidimensional beings having a physical experience, but we are repeating ourselves moment by moment by creating realities. And if we can remember that we're transforming the karma, all of these lives, by these changes right now. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. And there we are, emanates the light of the sun. And we were just discussing, Dave and AJ and I, yesterday we're just discussing the power of the sun, the information, the data, the light codes, all of the information we're receiving from the sun, higher perspective information, the phoenix, the rising from the ashes. How are we going to rise from the ashes from this? How are we going to, just like, and I wanted to, and I'm being reminded, somebody sent me a message today, Jody, Reiki medium, if you watch this, doll, the idea of Atlantis, and I was being reminded again, we talked about that again here a couple of days ago, and we have been talking about it. We've been talking about Atlantis, and we're going to talk about that more on Fridays, on Goddess Fridays, about Atlantis, about the symbols, about the crystal skulls, about that entire idea. And so how all of this morphs into the next thing. We are literally creating a new world. And whether it's metaphorically, physically, we are transforming our karma right now. And this great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. And I'm thinking about manifestation is transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves, our best and brightest selves, our peacock selves, our best and brightest selves, and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. Well, that couldn't be a better message for right now. Hold on for the ride, guys. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, we are bright, radiant, and challenges. We face our challenges. When out of balance, we are controlling. We think we need to control everything, that we need to control it to put it back into balance, but that is not the case. To bring it into balance, we have got to step into the unknown. And what a perfect metaphor, really, message for us right now, the rabbit and the eagle, about the transformation, seeing things from the higher perspective. And it was interesting because as I was also shuffling a few minutes ago, the Eagle Spirit deck, or excuse me, I'm sorry, the Earth Magic deck. And look, you guys, the bunny rabbit. So there's the owl on here of wisdom, the transformation. Oh my gosh, look, the moth. Okay, so we've got, of course, the bunny rabbit, the moth, because the moth we actually pulled earlier. And so I wanted to, it was funny that that card shows a moth on there, because the book shows a moth on there because we were just discussing the moth earlier. So we've got the owl and there's actually two rabbits, one on the side, and she's holding one also. So wisdom of the owl. We're talking about gaining the wisdom from this experience right now. And so as I was shuffling that deck, the Gaia card, nurturing, came out. So this is the time that we are nurturing ourselves, that we are nurturing each other in ways we haven't before, that we're nurturing Gaia, that we're showing our gratitude for think of all the things we're showing gratitude for now that we maybe don't have access to. Some of the simplest things that we don't have access to right now that are showing us gratitude, to remember all of the gratitude for all of the things that we already have, and that all of a sudden, poof, when it's not within our reach right away, we panic, and how we feel out of control, that we need to control the situation by hoarding everything. We need to hold on to everything because there might not be anything. Is that a lack mentality and a fear mentality, or is that an empowering mentality? So lots of interesting messages about nurturing. We're all nurturing ourselves in different ways than we have before because we're being forced into a situation to nurture our children differently, to nurture ourselves differently, to keep ourselves sane. We're seeing witnesses of mothers who are feeling pretty overwhelmed right now, but there's also a reason, there's wisdom behind this about how our children are teaching us how to teach the children of the children of the children, the teachers of the teachers of the teachers. All of this karmic effect, that's what this is all about. So it was really interesting that that card also showed the moth card, because another air card too, moth, and the Luna moth. So the moon, The cycles. So I'm feeling, of course, too, we've got the is it the full moon in Aries coming? So we've got the full moon, I believe, is coming, and the moth represents impulsive, hasty, and wishful. And isn't that what we're all doing? How we're all? And again, I have not read these cards yet, except for right here. Impulsive, hasty, and wishful. That is how we're all probably behaving right now. The moth is sure the grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, or burnout. It's helpful to remind moth personalities that life is complex. No matter the illusion, no one is exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey. If ever we knew that, it's now. Practice seeing life as an infinite mystery rather than wishing it was easier or different. And this was a personal message for me as well. So when in balance, we're enthusiastic and whimsical. And when we're out of balance, we're idealizing others and we're jittery. To bring it into a balance, finish a project. So how many projects now can we finish now that we're being forced to be inside of ourselves, to be creative, to explore our creativity and nurture ourselves in ways we haven't before? And we talk about this a lot, but this message is very, very prevalent right now. And so I wanted to finish off the reading today from the Native Spirit deck, the Eagle. This is my very first deck I ever got, and it was right after my own first shamanic journey, and I wanted to I have my shamanic necklace here, and I love this because it actually absorbs light codes and photons. I've already forgotten the name of the stone already.
Seston.
The Seston. I'll have to put the link for you guys because it's really amazing. This thing glows in the dark, and it literally absorbs the sunlight. And there's been a lot of shamanic energy I've been feeling here, that when I say shamanic energy, that we're reaching for the wisdom of the ancestors, of the ages, of the indigenous peoples, that we're hearing this information stronger than we ever have before. And I'm thinking even of a friend of ours who kind of did her first shamanic drumming on my drum up here, my shamanic drum, and so she and her first like healing, and it just sort of came out of nowhere. So I wanted to congratulate her and all of you for, again, dancing to the beat of your own drum and reaching out to your ancestors and native spirits and our animal spirits, and listen to the information that is being guided. And I encourage all of you, since I was going to read it to you again, as I said earlier, but I encourage all of you to look it up. Look up the rabbit animal totem, rabbit animal spirits, the eagle animal spirits, if you haven't, because there's information for all of us. And I'm also noting that on the back of this card too, or on the is a rainbow, which I posted not too long ago some rainbow pictures that we all got to see out here, right outside here, and it was a beautiful rainbow for a really long time. And I really felt as if that was part of the message for all of us, is to shining our true colors, and that we have the ability to manifest abundance and joy and enthusiasm and creativity. All of these things I did look up today about the rabbit animal totem, and all of these things. It's all about that. It's about new beginnings and this idea of spring and starting over and really creating a new version of the earth that we all desire. So I wanted to, as I'm feeling light languages coming as I'm shuffling. So Simataviana malakataviana alesana tobe amalako sobashanatovia simasemiana malavayano numalakotaveshanati sinaseta ing. And I'm being reminded by the elements that they all have a song to sing. Nieba ola kese, the air has song, the water has song, the earth has song. Davolahina malasama sheta uahia, the sun has song. Ima ishana teva, so the spirit has song. What is the song in your spirit? That is calling, burning to come out. Maybe that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I guess it is. Oh, well, thanks. Well, okay. So the one that fell, Freedom Horse. And isn't that what we all want to feel right now? Free. I'm a Sagittarian, a half horse. I'm a centaur, half man, half horse. Freedom.
Horseshoe.
Okay, we were just talking about a horseshoe today. I was looking up the rabbit animal totem, and one of the things that came up in the questions in Google was, what is the luckiest symbol? Horseshoe. And I read it to him and I said, I need to find a horseshoe locally at a place that has horses because I've always had horseshoes hanging above my door. And so, I don't know, guys, maybe somebody needs to get a horseshoe, go buy horses, near horses. The idea of freedom. Look, isn't that what we want? Don't we all just want to feel free? When we talk about manifestation, we always think about the little things, I want to manifest this. What do we want to manifest freedom. We want to manifest joy. We want to manifest enthusiasm and creativity and comfort and love. That's what we really, really all just want to manifest. It's not about things. Are we finding out it's not about things? So, freedom. That was I can't believe it, the horseshoe, you guys, that's so weird. But is it? As we say, bizarre. Oh, and I want to remind everybody too, if you haven't, actually look up the definition of weird. I think you guys all be surprised that we've been using it, and it really is this definition of otherworldly, out of this world. So I love this very much. I'm very deeply connected to the horse energy of running and freedom, and even the moth, flighty, the eagle, soaring, the higher wisdom, and yet my joy and enthusiasm as the bunny rabbit to express and magnify and multiply and what was the word you used? Accelerate this energy of the light and love and joy, and that we have a choice. We can really manifest. If we can, we're so powerful that if we can manifest the experience of feeling closed off and trapped, then we also have the power to manifest the feeling of freedom. And I think that we're really beginning to understand that really pretty deeply right now. When we're forced to stay in, we can't go anywhere. Restaurants are closed. Everything's closed. We've just discovered you can't go to the beaches. You can't go to the pool. It's like, okay, how are we going to be creative, you guys? How are we being asked to be creative in ways we never have before so that we can feel free?
And keep in mind, too, the things that are bringing you the fear are really the things that are being identified to you to decide how you really want them to be. So we were talking about the rabbit and the rabbit being in fear and talking about all the bad things that are going to happen. What are those things that you're most fearful of? Those are the things that you should change, and you should wish for something better. And actually think about it and identify the better things and say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
Tell your friends, tell your family. When somebody tells you something on the phone, don't just say, yeah, okay. Say, I don't want that. This is how I want it.
I want it this way.
I want the freedom. I want the beaches open. I want the restaurants open.
And moving into that, a new level of gratitude and appreciation for when we are business as usual. We're never going to be business as usual again. We shouldn't be. If we are, we didn't learn. We did not gain the wisdom from this experience. It's got to be not business as usual from here forward. And the tribal spirit dancer flipped over, and that was what Dave was showing me, that it was already flipped over, I think, in the deck. And
While you were shuffling it.
Okay. And I had my eyes closed, so I didn't see it. But look, you guys, birds over the water. And here we are near the ocean. And dancing to the beat of our own drum. Again, tribal spirit dancer, I always think too of, and funny, we're talking about the shamanic drum too. And I'm and this is a message for me personally too, and I know that because I've been actually talking about it, that I haven't even allowed my own spirit to dance the way I wanted to, and to really connect with all that I am in ways that I haven't. And so I wanted to, and I read the meaning to this because I was guided to. The tribal spirit dancer card meaning is let go and say yes to life. And isn't that what we're being asked to do right now, is to say yes to life? Be daring. Dance to your heart's desire. Unfurl your wings and fly. Cast aside conventions and restrictions. Tune into the rhythm of life. Laugh. Explore. Go beyond your predictable behavior. We're being asked right now, you guys, to go beyond our predictable behavior right now. Sometimes life is messy and chaotic, and that's okay. Leave the dishes. Run outside in the sprinklers.
Leave the dishes.
Don't even. Yeah, I'm normal. You are on the planet to be free. I swear to God, that's what it says. And that's not even that card, it's this card. You are on the planet to be free. You don't always need to meet the expectations of others. You're here to explore, expand, and step into your extraordinary self. Of course, there are times to live an ordinary life, but there are also times to joyously fling your arms to the heavens and dance. Choose life on your terms. Clear out mental and emotional clutter. Move beyond those situations that you have outgrown. Wow. Don't accept rules that you have placed on yourself or that others have placed on you. This is your time. This is your time. Don't delay listening to the rhythm of your heart and following your dreams. The journey. Turn on music and move. This is a perfect time, you guys. Turn on the music. You're home. Dance with your children. Dance with yourselves. Turn on the music. Light the candles. We've got, what do you call that thing with the lights? Crazy,
like
the disco light things going. We play the music and the disco lights are going, and getting our shaman on and getting the drums out, and Dave and our friend Stephanie were playing the drum at the same time. And
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie, and made a video, and it was so much fun. And it was like her healer came out. It was just the combination of just being ourselves, and that was exactly what she said was, I feel so myself when I come here. And that's what we all want to feel in our own sacred spaces, is ourselves. And even in this sacred space, we just want to feel ourselves and be ourselves. And that's one of the things we want to do on Fridays with Goddess Fridays, and be our goddess selves, be our god selves, be our superheroes, and show each other that we really are the superheroes, our own superhero. Clear out mental and emotional clutter. Move beyond those situations that you have outgrown. This is your time. Don't delay listening to the rhythm of your heart and following your dreams. And remember to turn on the music. It's about feeling the beat inside your heart and expressing this with your body and your emotions. If you want to break free, then start first by expressing yourself. Wild and free, and the circumstances of your life will transform. Well, that message, I think I'm going to conclude on today's cup of inspiration and wisdom, because that is exactly what I was told to do today, was to just, it was time to do a video again, a cup of inspiration. I haven't done it in a long time. And so there we have it. It was my way of being as, spontaneous as possible in that.
And before we go,
Yes.
I do want to hear you say something that I love hearing you say. You can't make this up.
You just can't make this stuff up, you guys. You just can't make this stuff up. And the Queen of Synchronicity, hey, you guys are all the kings and queens and gods and goddesses of synchronicity, because synchronicity is your everything. We were talking about that yesterday. If we could really understand that every single little, everything you see, you made it, you did it, you created it. You are the creator of your reality. Every stick of furniture, every lamp, every wall, every person, it's your creation, it's your universe. You choose, we choose. And let's make this a brand new, amazing universe. And that's really what I feel like we're creating. Wow. I feel like we're actually creating a whole new universe. Blue, peacock blue, cobalt blue, throat chakra. It really is. The message has been speaking, living, and from the heart, and seeing things from the higher perspective, and really truly gaining the wisdom from this experience and sharing it with each other, and sharing it in ways that you never saw yourself doing, and living your dream. And I'm doing it, living it, and even when it feels a little weird to be out of your comfort zone. And as Dave said, if you're feeling scared about doing it, that's your heart telling you it's something exciting that you need to do. So, and I happened to see a few minutes ago that the 3333 timestamp as it was going by. So that was a message too for me to remind all of you too that whether it's numbers, whether it's words, whether it's symbols or signs, whether it's songs, music, light languages, oracle cards, crystals, we're all sending and receiving messages all the time from what we call karma, our parallel realities, all the parts of ourselves that we are now experiencing ourselves being free because we're feeling whole again. And in when we say it's because it's an experience, it's that we're not ever separated. We can never be incomplete. We can only experience that. And now we can feel and bring the multidimensionality here and realize we don't have to. How did we say that yesterday? We don't need to. Now we can experience all of this here and now without forgetting anymore. We don't have to forget anymore what and who we are, our magnificence, our superhero selves. So you guys go be magnificent in everything that you're doing, where and when and how you're doing it. And together we are going to create a whole new universe. So namaste. I love you all. Mahalo. And remember that I was told that the light within me illuminates the light within you, and the light within you illuminates the light within me. And together we illuminate greater the light of all that is. So proliferate that light. Say that 3 times. Love you guys. Love you. Love you, Dave. Bye everyone.